I don't like my voice. Now, that is an ironic statement coming from someone doing a TED Talk, but there are several reasons why I don't like my voice. Because one, I keep getting mistaken as a freshman, which, no offense to freshmen, is something you don't want to hear as a second semester senior. Two, because as a trans guy, it's just something that I own that doesn't correspond to who I am. And three, okay, not to get extremely nerdy up in here, but try playing Dungeons and Dragons as an orc barbarian sounding like a 12-year-old. Trust me, no one's gonna be afraid of you when you're yelling, "Ragnar the Beheader destroys all!" I mean, come on. What is Ragnar the Beheader going to do? Hug your head off? But jokes aside, a voice is a powerful tool. It's this vehicle from which we can be heard from by audiences like you, online and offline, especially at an event like this. But while you may hear the stories you've heard today, have you really listened? Now, obviously, I was not accepted to talk here today about my experiences with D&D, though I totally could, if I wanted to. But I'm actually here to talk about something that makes up who I am as much as playing D&D, being trans. Now, I've been out as a trans guy ever since my freshman year of high school, but it's something that a lot of my classmates are surprisingly unaware of. I usually, at the beginning of every year, would let my teachers know about my pronouns, ask my gym teachers to let me use separate locker rooms, and then quietly hope that when someone refers to me as he, that other people catch on. Now, despite the fact that I go through this routine every single year, I still found myself wondering why I was still hesitant. If I was out, then why don't I correct people when they misgender me? If I was out, then why did I always hesitate calling myself a guy? Then I would hear a few of those classic throwaway phrases you always seem to hear in any high school classroom. Did you assume my gender? I identify as an attack helicopter, and so on, and so forth. Now, as much as those statements don't even represent the trans community, I finally realized why I always had one foot out of the closet. I didn't want people to be aware of the fact that I was trans. Now, that might sound weird to you because the whole point of being out is letting people know you aren't straight and/or cisgender, right? But the thing is, I do want people to know that I'm trans. It's a part of who I am, and it's something that I'm proud of. But what I don't want people to do is to suddenly forget all the other unique parts of me and just see me as that trans classmate. At times, awareness hurts. It's the act of simply knowing that someone or something exists and nothing more. It's like seeing that someone's on stage right now speaking, but you only hear their words rather than listen to what they're saying. Now, awareness as an act of social justice is an awesome tool for starting a conversation, but as a way we consider other people, it's just looking at the surface and barely going beyond that. And I'm not saying that every straight and or cisgender person does that, but if you want to be an ally, then you have to acknowledge that as much as someone's gender identity or sexual orientation makes up a part of who they are, it's not all there is to them. And awareness isn't such a bad thing either, just like hearing what someone else has to say. But you can't really connect with the speaker until you listen to them, until you respect them. So, how do we do that? Is there some secret 5-step guide to respect? A hidden tip to becoming the most woke person alive? Well, no. Respect doesn't need a 5-step guide, or even a common ground between you and the other person, but rather 2 words: active listening. Just like active reading, active listening requires you to listen with a determination to understand, both empathetically and factually. It's a type of listening where you set aside your preconceived notions for at least a moment until you hear the end of someone's story. After all, you don't approach Catcher in the Rye and already groan about how annoying Holden is. You read it, make active attempts to understand the book's themes, and then hate Holden afterwards. And sure, it's a skill, and like many skills, it takes practice. But it's one that's worth developing to really connect with all the diverse individuals you will meet in real life. And anyone can learn how to respect. Anyone can learn how to listen. Heck, you're probably doing it right now. And anyone can be an ally. And it takes even the smallest of gestures to show that fact. Like this iguana snow globe. So just around my junior year, I was starting out on the school speech team and also went over changing my first name over the summer to, well, my real name. And heck, I think it was at my first speech tournament where I wore my first suit. So obviously a lot of big changes, big events. So my friend and I were at this booth event advertising our speech team to the freshmen and all, and she sort of slid me this little box, and in it contained a iguana snow globe from Curacao. Well, except Curacao didn't have the accent on it, and so it just said Curacao, but, you know, not to be picky. So I can remember how she gave this to me, how she smiled, and how she said that when she saw it, she just had to buy it. Because out of all the things she knew about me, she knew how much I loved iguanas. And that made me feel so respected. Because while she knew that I was trans and knew that and respected me, obviously, she also saw beyond that. She saw the parts that liked lizards and playing D&D and, well, public speaking. So it goes to show that it doesn't take a lot to be an ally. All it takes is acknowledging any LGBTQ person as LGBTQ and, well, a person with their own personality and their own interests. If there's anything I want you all to take away from this, it's that both awareness and respect are important ingredients for being an ally. Because at the end of the day, while I am here and while I am queer, don't forget that there's still so much more you could know about me too. Thank you.